Hi, this presentation was put together by CMO for board members. We have some board members that have been serving on the board for many years, while we also have some board members that they're fairly new. So with this presentation, we hope to answer and clarify some of the questions that we get, the most commonly asked questions. Some of the topics that we will be covering is what is CMO, who elects the board of directors, what authority does CMO have, or what role does your property manager play. We'll also talk about the Council of the Presidents and the relationship between the POA, CMO, and each individual association. Finally, and most importantly, we'll talk about why is CMO different from other management companies. In addition to these questions and these topics, we hope to answer many more other questions that you may have. So here we have Hunters Run, and Hunters Run is formed by 23 individual associations. Each association has its own governing documents. The governing documents that we usually just call the documents of the association are formed by the declaration, the articles of incorporation, and the bylaws. And there's also other documents associated like rules and regulations. But each association has its own set of documents. In addition to the 23 individual associations, we also have CMO, and we will talk about CMO later on. And we have what we call the POA, or also like the clubhouse, the main clubhouse. The POA handles all the area within Hunters Run in between the 23 associations. This covers both gates, the main road, the lakes, and the golf courses. But if you look at this image, you can see that the POA has no jurisdiction over the individual associations. If we look at one association, an association is formed by the homeowners, the residents, and the units. In Hunters Run, we have apartments, we have villas, townhouses, and single-family homes. The goal of an association is to bring continuity and order to the community, and also to preserve the architectural integrity and financial integrity, and to maintain the common elements of the association. Because an entire association with all the homeowners cannot properly run an association, the members of the association elect a board of directors to carry those duties. The board of directors then elects the officers of the association. So we have the president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, and everybody else would not be an officer, would be directors. Most boards are between 5 and 7 members, board members. And that number is usually stated in the documents of the association. The roles of each officer, they're also stated at each association's documents, and they may vary from association to association. Generally, the president is the officer that presides all the board meetings, but then there's specific roles that they may vary from association to association. So it's always good to be familiar with your documents, check the documents, and you'll be able to find all that information there. When a member is elected to serve on a board, Florida statute requires the new board members to attend a board certification class within 90 days of being elected or being appointed. This is a 3-hour class that in the past few years CMO has organized, and we've done it here. These past 2 years, because of the pandemic, it's been done online via Zoom. But previously, it was done in one of the clubhouses, so board members could attend. In lieu of attending the class, a board member can sign an affidavit stating that the association's documents have been read, also like all the policies have been read, and that he or she will fulfill the fiduciary responsibility to the association's members. We always strongly recommend to attend the class. You get a lot of useful information. It's taught by an attorney, so if you have any questions, you can ask the attorney. But if you don't have time or the schedule doesn't work, you can sign the affidavit instead. The board of directors is responsible for the common elements and the management and operation of the association's business affairs. Some of what we stated, it was the goal of the association, that it was to maintain the common elements. Because the association has elected the board of directors, then it becomes the board of directors' responsibility. The board of directors has a fiduciary relationship and responsibility with the members of the association. That means that board members must act in good faith and in the best interest of the members of the association. When somebody decides to run for a board of directors, it should be based on doing good for the association and not as a self-interest. It also means that board members must exercise due care and diligence when acting for the community and must act within the scope of their authority. The authority that a board of directors has is stated in the documents of the association, and also it's in Florida statute also limits the authority of the board. So the board has to stay within their authority. A fiduciary relationship and responsibility also means that board members cannot be excused from improper action on the grounds of ignorance or inexperience. If a board member is not familiar or comfortable with a certain subject, that board member or that board of directors should reach out to a professional. This may be your property manager, management company, an attorney, an engineer, but you need to reach out to somebody because you cannot say, oh, you were not aware, and that's why you are excused. The board of directors, the president of the board of directors, is the officer that serves as liaison between the association and CMO. So if we have here, we talk about the 23 different associations. So each association has its own board of directors. The president of each association forms or serves on the council of the presidents. So we have 23 presidents that form the Council of the Presidents. The Council of the Presidents also elects its officers. So we have the president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary, and the remaining members, the remaining 19 members, are directors of the Council of the Presidents. This council was formed mostly as an advisory board to discuss items that affect more than one of the associations. However, they do make decisions regarding bulk cable when the contract becomes that needs to be renewed. They also make decisions for the insurance This is for property insurance and also for other insurance that includes liability, umbrella, D&O, and they also elect the CMO board of directors. So now we're going to talk about the CMO board of directors. The CMO board of directors is formed by 6 members. This is because at least one of the board members must be from one of the 5 apartment communities. There can be more than one, but at least one has to be from the apartment communities. The responsibilities of the CMO board are hiring the general manager. They also advise and consent on policies and procedures of operation of CMO to carry business. They set the CMO budget, and they serve as liaison between the association boards and the members. What is CMO? We get this question, we get it asked a lot. And CMO is the on-site management company that serves the 23 community associations in Hunters Run since 1991. From those 23 associations, we have 21 condominium associations and 2 HOAs. The mission statement of CMO is that CMO is dedicated to provide quality and timely on-site property management to all residential communities while assuring superior services to all owners. What does CMO do? CMO handles all the aspects of property management. This includes the physical supervision of the property maintenance to all the administrative and financial matters of the association. CMO works with the board of directors to carry out all those duties. So CMO implements the decisions and policies established by the board of directors of each association in accordance with and as required by Florida statute. We have 617, that's the non-for-profit, and then we have 718 and 720, depending if it's a condominium or an HOA. And also, these policies must be within the scope of the association's documents. CMO guides and advises the association board of directors, but CMO does not make decisions on behalf of the association. Your property manager can guide you and we can gather all the information, but at the end of the day, the board of directors makes the decision. CMO also serves as liaison between the homeowners, the association board of directors, and the different vendors and contractors. So now we're going to look at the different services that CMO offers. First, we have the administrative services, and that includes maintaining all the association's records, from insurance information, meeting minutes, architectural requests, site plans, and any other documents that you can think of we are maintaining. We also answer the phones and emails to assist homeowners. We have Carol. Carol usually is your first point of contact when you call our office. We receive and dispatch maintenance requests, any calls that come in for work orders, items that need to be addressed. We take care of all that. We handle all the mailings. These include for annual meetings, budget meetings, and any other membership meetings that the membership must be notified. These can be document amendments or any material alteration changes that membership has to approve. CMO also processes the sales and leases for each association. But like it says here, we process them, but we do not make the decisions. CMO does not have the authority to approve or deny a potential buyer or a potential rental. CMO will gather all the information that the association requires. Most associations perform background checks. This includes criminal and financial information. And once all this information is put together, we send it to the president so the board of directors can make an informed decision. CMO also completes the association's requirements. These include staples, questionnaires, register agents, and other requirements. In addition, we process all the architectural requests for the association. And again, we process the architectural request, but we do not make decisions. We gather the information, and that may be the scope of work, color samples if applicable, licenses, insurance, and then all that architectural request package is sent for the board to make a decision. Our financial services, they go from simple items like collecting maintenance payments, paying bills, making deposits, to maintaining and generating all the financial records and books for the association. We have Walter, our controller, who monitors and obtains all the information on money market accounts and certificates of deposits. He's going to let you know if one of the accounts it's coming to an end, what are the new interest rates, and if you want to switch accounts or if you want to renew the existing account. We also help in preparing the annual budgets, and we assist the attorneys in monitoring and collecting the delinquent accounts. In addition, we also work with the independent accountants to perform the audits and to help prepare the tax return. Management services. For management services, we have our COO or general manager that supervises all CMO operations and other duties assigned by the CMO board of directors. We have the property managers. The property managers are available 24/7 for emergencies. If there is an emergency during business hours, the homeowner calls the office and that emergency would be handled. If there are any emergencies after hours or during the weekend, the homeowner would call security and then security would contact the technician that's on call or the property manager if applicable. In addition, all presidents and most board members also have the cell phone of the property manager if needed to contact. The property manager obtains bids for services and projects and prepares anything regarding meetings. That includes agendas, posting notices, preparing the meeting packages, and attending the meetings. The property managers inspect the communities, they review the work performed by the vendors, and they coordinate all this work. Sometimes it's simple work that maybe it's routine services that they're scheduled, while other times are projects, major projects that require a specialist, for example, roof replacement or a railing or any other major items where engineers and consultants may be involved. Although CMO personnel are very knowledgeable, we are not architects and we are not engineers and we are not attorneys. All these services must be contracted separately. And we can give you our opinion. We can let you know what we think the right answer is based in past experiences. But at the end of the day, there's items that you will need to contact one of these professionals to get an answer. You want to have certain protection and have certain items be consulted by an attorney. So the board and the association is covered. Now we're going to talk about work orders and maintenance. This is a subject that creates a lot of confusion about who is responsible to maintain or repair a certain item. A lot of times people say CMO is responsible for to fix my landscape or to fix my door. And the answer is that CMO is never responsible. The responsibility falls on the association or on the homeowner. We'll talk later on about the confusion with CMO, but it's homeowner or it's association. The responsibilities of the association and the responsibilities of the homeowner are listed in the association's documents, and those vary from association to association. Generally, the association is responsible for all common elements and some limited common elements. Some of these limited common elements may include front doors, maybe walkways or driveways. And there's some associations that they take care of those items, and then there's other associations that they do not take care of those items. The association usually also covers some services like pest control and cable. And again, each association has its own set of documents, so this varies. And there's also differences between condominium and HOAs. Generally, the homeowner is responsible for the unit. And what we call the unit is from the drywall in. And then the homeowner is also responsible for some limited common elements. And again, all this is listed in the association's documents. So who pays and how much? Obviously, if it's a homeowner item, the homeowner would pay for that service or that repair or that maintenance, as long as the vendor the homeowner chooses is licensed and insured, and the the association would not have any issues. If the repair or the maintenance excuse me, it's done in the exterior and it's visible or it's visible from outside, most likely it would require an architectural request. But as long as it's within the parameters and the contractor is licensed and insured, the board would not have any issues. If the item is an association item, and there's two different options. The association has contracts for some of the association's responsibilities, for example, for pest control, for landscaping, and that includes the lawn mowing, irrigation, the hedge trimming, and there's also contracts for pool maintenance, for janitorial services. So any items that are any work orders or any items that need to be addressed that they're within one of these contracts, there would not be any additional charges. It's already built into the contract. Then there's other items such as landscape replacement, rodents, building maintenance, and that may be like roof repairs, stucco, any other maintenance items, or the trimming of the palms and the hardwood trees, that those are not part of any specific contract. So the association gets a separate contract, not an annual contract, but has to obtain bids or has to pay for it separately. For the items that the association is responsible, especially items that are regarding the building maintenance or the Common Ground Association maintenance, the association can use CMO's maintenance services. Because the associations use CMO for a lot of those items, that's where the confusion comes, where people says CMO is responsible for it, even though, like stated, the association is responsible for it and the association hires CMO to take care of it. So some of the services our maintenance department provides are inspection of the attics. When our technicians inspect the attics, they look for rodent activity, and they check for roof leaks. A lot of times a roof leak is visible in the attic. It hasn't caused any damage inside the unit, but you can see it from the attic. So having regular attic inspections can prevent major damage later on. During the attic inspections, we also check to see if there's any pipes that they're not properly vented through the roof, and that would be an avenue for rodents to come in if they're not properly vented. They also check that the insulation is properly placed, and they check if there are any issues with the firewalls. Sometimes, we found that there's been holes on the firewalls, and all that needs to be repaired. Our maintenance technicians, they also perform comprehensive exterior inspections of the buildings. Like I stated before, the property manager does inspect the association and the common elements, but these inspections that our maintenance department provides, they're like really complete inspections, like from fascia to windows, anything that needs to be caulked, or if there's any issues with the gutters, and all that would be put together in an inspection report. Our guys can also clean the gutters for the association. Most associations, they actually have contracts with the janitorial company that they provide gutter cleaning. However, that gutter cleaning, it's usually for one-story building only, and it's only for light cleaning of the gutters. If there are any issues with the downspouts, or if there are two-story buildings, most janitorial contracts would not cover that. So that's where CMO would come into play. CMO also offers emergency services for the associations and for homeowners. Like I previously stated, 24/7, if there's any issue and our office is closed, you would call security, and then security would call the appropriate, the technician that's on call to assist on emergency services. We perform repairs to the common and limited common elements for the association. And in addition to all those services for the associations, we perform additional services for homeowners, for those services that the association does not cover. We do what we call the homeowner services. That is like handyman services for minor repairs. We also have a concierge services. We have a storm protection program where we help homeowners secure their home in the event of a storm. And we also provide, we started this year to offer a 25-point inspection. And that's kind of like a health check of your unit, where our technicians come and they check everything from valves to the vents and anything that you can imagine. All these services are not part of the contract between CMO and the associations, so all those services are performed at an additional cost that it's billable to the associations. So to end this presentation, we're going to talk about why is CMO different from other management companies. CMO was formed 30 years 30 years ago, by the associations. And CMO is owned by the associations. The board of directors is elected by the Council of the Presidents. And as we stated, the Council of the President are members of the associations. They're the presidents of the associations. Everything stays in-house. That means that the goals of CMO are aligned with the goals of the associations. They're the same purpose, the same objectives. Same as each individual association, CMO is a not-for-profit company. The budget of CMO, and same as the budgets for each association, the expenses equal the revenue. There is no profit built in. If we look at the CMO's budget, you can see that 69% of our expenses are administrative. This includes the office payroll, equipment, software, and any other admin expenses that you can think of. 29% is for our maintenance department, and 2% are operating expenses. These operating expenses include items like golf cart repairs and maintenance. 54% of our expenses are covered by management fees. The management fees are the monthly fees that each association pays. And 42% of our expenses are covered by our maintenance department, the repairs that our maintenance department performs. This includes 34% of work that's done for the associations and 8% of work done for homeowners. We also have 4% of other revenue, and other revenue includes what we call paperwork income. That's like from for staples, questionnaires, processing sales, or architectural requests. But if you look at these two pie charts, you can see that expenses equal revenue. There's no profit. Lastly, and most importantly, why is CMO different from other management companies? We have really knowledgeable staff. A lot of our staff has been with us for many, many years. And they are familiar with Hunters Run. They are familiar with the homeowners. They are familiar with the history of the buildings. All of our staff does continuing education to keep up with the licenses, to maintain the licenses that we have, and to keep up with nowadays knowledge. And that's it. That's the end of the presentation. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, and I hope that you've learned a little bit more about CMO and about the POA and about your association and the board of directors. And if you have any questions, you can always call us and reach us at the CMO office, and we're here to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.